Alright, what is going on, team? Today is Tuesday. Oh no, Wednesday. Sorry. We didn't trade yesterday. There was no trade yesterday. Um, to be honest, I didn't even bother looking at the charts on Tuesday because, um, yeah, I just wanted to take a little break after that win on Monday. Take the wins and try to be consistent for the week. Um, but I do have a job starting up in the uh, next year. Yeah, next year around Feb. Um, which is pretty important for my career and things like that. So I think I'll probably be up just seeing how New York moves. Like I know there's always a displacement in some sort of direction for all sorts of pairs, but because I will be on rotate on night shifts and day shifts and afternoon shifts, so it will be interesting how that all plays out and how I manage to do all of that. But we will still be grinding when we can. There'll be weeks where I won't be able to trade because I will be doing afternoon shifts, as in like something about like 3 to 12. Um, yeah. So yeah, just gotta figure something out till then. But yeah, for now, uh, we are gonna stay on it. Every day, every single day, looking to see, if the market gives us any opportunities, and yeah, and where can we, sorry, where can we look to, take a trade from? So, today was a winner today. Again, the date is Wednesday, 15th of October. Um, yeah, so let's get right into it. Yeah. All right. Trade was taken on GBP USD and kind of doing like top-down analysis like you do have previous uh, previous daily candle opening here, as low as the low created down there. So there's the two liquidity draws right there. 4 hour looking pretty bullish. um, and on the 1 hour, the 1 hour is where I select my liquidity points to see where price wants to go, right? Because at the end of the day, we ideally want to be in a charts for maybe 1 or 2 hours. I've been expressing this for I've been expressing this from the beginning when I started my videos that hey, like you could definitely catch like these swing setups in the long term, but we won't be there for that, So um, oh, and it'll take forever to play out. So this is definitely good for swing trading, I reckon. Like something like this, you could do something like this, stops below this fair value gap here. Target these highs, you get some very good risk to reward. But again, it takes a lot of time for the trade to play out. And me, I'm more of a kind of wanting the trade to play out as soon as it can, with the volume that's present, in each session. Sorry. So getting right into it, we did have these kind of equal highs up here. Not equal, but like as you can see that we pushed up, we took out these highs, unable to take out these highs, so kind of equal highs here. We did take out these highs. I didn't mark this, but throughout the day, but we already took that out, so it doesn't really matter. For lows, I did have these hourly lows down here, because what is it under? It is under a fair value gap, right? And that makes it a good draw on liquidity, because not only did we take out these lows, but we fill in these gaps as well to maybe continue on the trend, right? Because we're obviously bullish, right? So with that in mind, oh wait, let me keep that there actually. I did have my draws for for the day. Reachable draws that where I think London Session could definitely tap into one of those. We did get that pre-market push up to take out these highs, and now my thought process was, okay, are we gonna displace or not? Like, are we gonna continue on to take out, you know, these hourly highs and kind of this trend line liquidity here? Like, are we gonna take out? Are we coming up to take out those highs or not? Right. That's the question that everyone's probably asking to themselves: is are we gonna continue on, or is it a liquidity sweep? Right. And this is when fair value gaps come into play, right? Because fair value gaps price should be displacing from them, especially this first fair value gap here, right? And uh, with that, um, pre-market did take out these highs, like these hourly highs that I've drawn before, these highs and these highs. So I wanted to see whether we are reacting from bullish PD arrays or not, right? And that's where we do that on the 5 minute. 5 minute, I'm drawing out the last fair value gap that was created to take out these highs, which was this one right here, right? So as you can see, before London session opened, we tried to displace from it. We really tried to displace from this gap here. Um, but I wasn't convinced, because again, London session still hasn't opened, and we always wait for London session, never trade pre-market, because this is what ends up happening, right? Pre-market does this, we have a big push up. Pre-market does this, and people like early buyers are trying to come in here to continue on the trend, right? To get early buys so they can take their risks to reward even even bigger or even greater or whatever. So yeah, one advice: never trade pre-market. Pre-market is the worst. Not the worst, but like it's definitely not high probable because again, with pre-market, with London session actually opening, it could definitely take out those pre-market highs before continue on to take out to kind of take out those pre-session highs or lows before making the real move, if that makes sense. So I pretty much just waited for confirmation, which we did get on London session opening. And in the first 5 minutes, we created this huge downward candle, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. This is a active liquidity sweep, right? This is an active liquidity sweep. Now, where can we look to target, right? And this is where my highs and lows are marked out. I see that the obvious draw would be this low right here, because what is it paired with? Once again, paired with this 1 hour fair value gap here, as well as this fair value gap here. So it's an obvious draw, definitely obvious draw. I didn't mark out Asian session lows, but again, I don't think that was achievable just because we we um we pushed up so high. It's and the move down here will probably take till New York session to probably reach down here again if it does want to take out those Asia session lows, right? So my obvious target was definitely these 1 hour lows down here. You must be thinking, hey, where did you enter, right? So with that move down, we get a bullish candle closing up, and what does that create? We get a 5 minute fair value gap here, right? But not only that, but we did get a 5 minute inversion. But again, ideally, we want this five minute fair value gap to hold, because what does this become? If it's inverted, if we close above here, it becomes an inversion, right? And price could have bounced from this being an old POI now, just because we displaced from it already. We should continue on the trend to at least take out these lows, right? Um, so with that, I was kind of looking to see what this fair value gap did, right? Because ideally, I want price to respect this area to continue on the trend to take out these lows here. So, with that in mind, um, once we did get that push up into it, we tapped it so slightly. I'm like, nah, it's not enough. Like, I need a full kind of, I need like, you get that feeling like when you trade a lot that like it's not enough. Like this isn't enough, cause technically, like it didn't tap. You know, you, or like it did tap your PY, but not enough to fill it. Do you understand? So that becomes more of like engineered liquidity to me, because what do we have here? We have 1 minute fair value gaps here. And what did the price do? Price, filled in these gaps here. Price filled in these gaps here. This one, and came out to take out these highs. So people that had pendings or that that try to sell from the sell-off here, people that try to take an early sell, they probably saw one or this candle closing, and they took that early sell. Um, you know, um, Sorry, my throat's really dry. Let me get a drink of water. Sorry. So, yeah, early sellers, and like for confirmation, I do need these gaps to fail, especially this one here, because again, when we get a huge push down like that, it could be to fill in a gap to fill in this gap even more maybe. Um, I'll just do a cutoff just so you guys don't get confused. Where the trade ended and where I'm looking at, or like when the trade did play out. So everything before this line is what the charts look like. This is like a couple hours later. Um, but anyways, um, we get that push up from this fair value gap here, and what does it do? We take out these highs, and now I'm like, okay, cool. Are we gonna fill in this gap even more? Are we still gonna close bullish? And we didn't. We get a huge wick down. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still not convinced yet, just because we did have a unmitigated gap down here, and we're still in this leg, right? We're still in this leg here. Um, we're still in this leg here from. Oh shit, sorry. From these lows to these highs, we're still within that leg there. So ideally, if we were to continue on the trend to take like in the 1 minute trend to take out, not sorry, not to take out, but to fill in this gap or even this inversion, it would look something like this, right? Right. So you kind of just want that confirmation of that structure failing, that bullish, that bullish buyers, that are not stepping in there, they've lost control, right? So we did get that liquidity sweep, which is good confirmation, great confirmation, as we failed to even push above these highs once again. So now I'm looking for these gaps to fail. Like, okay, we got this one here where we displaced from, but also we had this one here, right, which was unmitigated, right, unmitigated. And also, I did draw out this 1 minute gap here because this was a bullish gap. As you can see, we tried reacting from it to push higher, but again, sellers took control here. But again, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me because what do I see? I see engineered liquidity here being taken out. We fill in this gap and then we continue on the trend, right? Because we're still within this leg. So, because with this gap being unmitigated, it wasn't a. It's low. It's it could be high probability that we react from it and then we fill in this gap even more, right? But we had good confirmation, right? We had a liquidity sweep, right? We had this 1 minute gap failing, turning into an inversion, right? I'll mark it out for you guys. 1 minute inversion, right? And we break through this gap, which was some form of support here, making this an inversion, right? And um, we break through this gap here with some momentum, right? We close. Buyers try to hold off in this fair value gap, but again, sellers were just too in control to where we closed below it, making this what also an inversion fair value gap. And my entry was on this wick back up. So once we closed below, I was kind of waiting for that top wick to be formed, which we did get back into this 1 minute inversion. My stops were above these highs here that was put in when we tapped. into this 5 minute gap here, but also above the liquidity sweep too, and targeting these 1 hour lows, which was here, right? And this trade played out very well. Like again, once we had that huge displacement down, like you could definitely tell that price was going towards, to take out these lows, right? So it was super smooth today, honestly. Like I couldn't ask for more of a better result than this. Like this was straight to the point, straight clean. That was it. No drawdown whatsoever. Like these are the trades that, these are the smart money trades right here. When you get a move like this, you should be proud of yourself. Which I am today. Very, very proud of myself. Uh, but can't be too confident though. The market will always test you. You will have losing days. So, very grateful for today. With this trade here was a 2.4R trade, and this was a trade that passed my funded account, right? Um, so with the 10K, you guys know the journey. I did post videos of me starting on a funded account, because I know that my skills are good. I just got to prove it to myself and gain more confidence in the market. So that's why I got a prep firm challenge. So it was a 10K. Uh, it's funny that within the first week, guys, we did, I think first week in like 2 days, we made 8% on a 10K. But when it came to 4%, it took us quite a while. I think I looked at the stats. It was about like 20 days, but in between of a couple of days of no trading, just because I was dealing with some family stuff, um, um, with some family stuff and things like that. You know, uh, it's interesting. Almost a month to make 4%. But again, it's just all part of the game. I was talking to my boys about this today. That I also trade with a group of people, and I was talking to them and telling them like, man, I'm like so proud of myself because like if this was a year ago, with an account this long, I would have definitely blown it by now. Like definitely blown it. Like definitely would have lost it. Just because my impatience and wanting to pass a funded so fast. But I'm teaching myself that hey, like it's all part of the journey. And anyone that's watching these videos, and you guys are trading, like all I can say is that it's all part of the journey, right? Um, find a strategy that works for you and that helps you understand because like if you're trying to trade something that you don't understand, you will you will majority lose, right? You won't be really successful with your trading strategy because you're just taking trades based on someone else's strategy. Does that make sense? Because for me, like when I look at this makes sense to me, right? That's how I'm explaining it to you guys because to me this makes sense. I can tell like there's a reason why market is reacting from these zones and what I'm looking for and things like that. That's my strategy. It's catered to me and in my brain, right? And like what helps me understand the market. Like I'm not fully there yet. Like I'm not definitely successful or like nothing like that. But like I'm slowly finding a system that works for me. Right? That's the point I'm trying to get across. Um, yeah, and all the traders that that do watch this video, like do not rush the journey. Right? I'm 2 years in. Haven't even made it yet. But I'm loving the journey so far. It's been a crazy, crazy ride. Um, started trading with one of my boys, and then one of my other boys just got on it, and he's catching on really, really quick. Really, really proud of him. Um, and yeah, all part of the journey. It's like a skill at uni. Like you take a uni degree or something like that, and you take 2 years to do it, 3 years to get good at it and study it and things like that. Same thing with trading, right? Same thing like with my school as well. Like um, About a year ago, I was in the South Island of New Zealand, and I was studying to be an aircraft engineer, and that took 2 years. 2 years to do that. Um, 2 years to do that, and I can say that I am good at what I do. It's my passion. Um, and yeah, same kind of concept with trading. It takes years to kind of understand your mental psychology and how it all works, and why do you think like this, and what makes sense to you in the market. Like using confluences, like I've only used two confluences, to keep it simple, which is liquidity, is how the market moves, as well as fair value gaps, because when I look at the markets, I see that this is where like this is where this is where these zones are like where um, buyers or sellers really step in. Like that's what I've seen, and that's why I've used it as in Confluence, like one of my main confluences, right? As you can see here, we have inversions and we have 5 minute gaps. That's pretty much what it is, right? Same thing for entry as well. Nothing too special. We're just looking for some sort of bearish confirmation here, right? Because this invalidates, buy stepping in, because where they're gonna take, where they're gonna buy in from, not from these gaps here, right? Because they're invalidated now. So it's like that's what makes sense to me. That's how I'm able to explain it to you guys, and why I think the way I think. So yeah, so just one advice I would give in my journey so far, not to rush the process. Definitely work on your mental game. That's super important too. Um, and yeah, um, just wanna say all glory to God. Wouldn't be this strong if it wasn't for him. I've had a lot of losing days, a lot of losing months, a lot of losing in general over the 2 years I've been trading, and it's I'm glad that he's here, part of my journey too. So all glory to him. And yeah, so today was a winner. Pasta funded. So yeah, we'll, if I'm unable to access the funded by tomorrow, I think I will trade on my live account tomorrow. Um, just see how we go from there. But anyways, just wanted to say thank you guys for tuning in, and peace.